I love teaching chair yoga because I get to do stuff my mom told me never to do, like sit with your legs wide. Yeah. So the question is, a lot of people have lumbar disc damage, especially L3-4, L4-5, and I'm going to throw in L5, S1, and then anxiety as well, and I'm just writing notes. Who in the room has disc damage that they know of? Okay. Wow, we're a mess. Okay. Generally speaking, we live on a planet that has gravity, and if you, thank God, by the way, and if you were to measure yourself when you got up in the morning, and measure your height, and then measure yourself again when you got home, you're going to be shorter at night because of that gravitational pull. And anyone over the age of 25 or 30, so none of us in here, anyone over that age, somehow magically, sometime in our late 20s, the discs quit hydrating on their own. And the discs are the shock absorb, the bumper stickers, the shock absorbers in between the vertebral bodies. So as the day goes on, those can start to shrink. Compression means the bones are coming closer to each other. The bones coming closer to each other means where these nerves are coming out, that can be an issue. So I want to talk a little bit about disc damage and what it is before we get into what you do for it. So if you see this little guy here has a red bulge, he has an owie, that's his bulging disc. Generally speaking, I don't know what's normal, but in a normal disc bulge, generally speaking, they bulge a little bit towards the side and back, because straight back is the spinal cord. One of mine bulges straight back. That's not fun. It's fine when I'm not inflamed, but when I am inflamed, I can feel it pressing on the spinal cord. It's a bit, pardon the pun, unnerving. But generally, they blow off to one side just because that's how they do. Occasionally, they blow forward. I knew someone who had one, I think it was L3, L4, really, hers didn't just bulge, it blew, it herniated. She was an Anusara teacher, I knew exactly how she did it. Full-on back bends. Because if you think of the structure of the spine, the discs are those shock absorbers. And so you have the hard outside, the annulus fibrosus, and it has tissues going in two different ways so that it can rotate, but it's really hard. And then inside you have the jelly donut, the nucleus, and as you go back, the donut goes forward. As you go forward, the donut goes back. As you go sideways, it goes to the opposite side. So it's a wonderful thing, but if you go too far, especially with force, that can start to herniate, to push out, to bulge, and then if it goes too far, it can herniate. Herniate means the integrity of the disc is now broken. So it has bulged through and the liquid from the jelly donut is now oozing out. Those you can create space in the spine and hopefully get them out of pain, but you cannot heal them. So Tatis would like to know, if you're teaching chair, what is the risk and what are the safest cues for lumbar disc damage? So I'm going to get up and sit in a chair to show you. Turn sideways, and then Panish, I'll turn sideways again so you can see this. And you guys see this in your chair class?
What did we say yesterday? Was that the bucket seats?
Yeah, exactly. I love teaching chair yoga because I get to do stuff my mom told me never to do, like sit with your legs wide. Yeah. So I'm going to scoot a little forward on the chair so you can see my low back, maybe. And feel free to stand up if you guys can't see. So I'm going to go into a forward bend. See what my pelvis is doing? I'll tell them sit way up, stick your tail feathers back. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, come forward. Taking the legs wide will stop this, where they immediately start to round back. So you're sticking your tailbone back and coming forward. And maybe you just come to here. If they're super tight and they're starting to do this, I have them just work here. Maybe inhale, exhale, come ½ inch forward. Inhale up, exhale, come maybe an inch forward. Where they might slowly progress to where they're getting more forward, but you definitely don't want this and then, or here they are and they're tight and then and they're rounding like that. So in that case, and I have one student and he'd be like, I'm totally pressing into the chair. So that's okay. I don't care if the chair is supporting you to keep your back safe. He had a laminectomy and lumbar scoliosis pretty bad and was pretty tight. But we needed to stretch his hips. So I would have him, it would press into the chair and he would come up and do this. I wouldn't have him come forward. I'd have him stay here, keep the back supported by the chair. And a lot of times you can, especially if someone's tight, just by inhaling and sitting up a little taller and sticking the tailbone back a little bit, they're like, whoa! So that's the main thing, and that goes in any class. Sorry, I promised Panish I would turn my chair sideways.
It's okay.
So you want to make sure that they're really sticking their tailbone back. And there's nothing against coming to the edge of the seat, so they can really, within reason, so they don't flip out the seat, stick the tailbone back and come forward.